Question. How do we call? He gave us a signal.
What up, the Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries? It is your boy, Trey of the Bat Channel. We are live once again from the Bat Cave. But before we begin, as always, Spartans, we have to group up with a co-host, a super bro. Corey, where you at?
Right here I am. What is
Damn right.
up, everybody? How we doing today on this beautiful Saturday morning?
It is a beautiful Saturday morning. It's a bit chilly here in Colorado. I don't know how it is in YO.
Yeah, it's windy and chilly as well.
Windy and chilly as well. Okay. Man. Whoo. This episode last night had me pumped when I watched it. I was like, I literally was like jumping up and down. My wife looked at me and she's just like, you need to settle down. I was like, we're playing Halo tomorrow. We're freaking going. I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. Like, yes, I literally, to me, this, Corey, I don't know about you, but breaking news, Hamada makes Halo Season 2. No! Literally, this episode had reminded me of being at a WWE event, just screaming the yes,
Oh,
yes, yes, this is awesome. I was just like all the way pumped throughout this entire theme. Corey, I know we're going to talk about a little bit more.
There was actually some themes here. I got to say real quick, Trey, on top of that, there were some themes here where I was like, damn, I hope the games take note of that.
Ooh. Okay. Damn. That's some strong words there, Corey. Because as us video game lovers of Halo, they're especially attacking the show hard, but
it was just one small part.
Okay, but it seems like for the most part, everyone loved this episode.
Oh, for sure. And I'll say it right now. I want to be able to run as fast as a freaking warthog, dude.
Right? Like, oh, yes. Oh, was that the thing? It was just they were catching up to the warthog. Like, damn, man.
What? When I'm huffing and puffing, it's like it takes forever to run. These guys are just boom on ice, just rocking and rolling. What is up, Yellow Devil?
Yellow Devil, what's up, brother? It's good to see you, man. I hope you're feeling better. I know you had COVID.
Me too, man.
It's good to see you here, man. And just stay healthy. Drink some vitamin C, orange juice, get that vitamin D in. Get some vitamin Halo in. Lucas Ironside. I haven't seen the series yet. Is it good? Lucas Ironside. It has hits and misses. Majority of the show has been kind of it's hard to tell you because we haven't seen the entire series, right? Because it's like you only get pieces of a story arc, so every episode's not going to be flipping amazing. It's trying to tell a small piece of a grand story. So by the end of the series, we'll be able to give you a better idea. But this episode in particular, oh, hell yeah.
But Trey, we got a lot of people in the chat today. We got our boy Trevor H. We got
Trevor H.
Ryan Swayze.
My man Ryan.
To restore the Snyderverse guy.
Freaking awesome.
We got Yellow Devil.
Praise the Batman for 40 minutes? No.
Bat Fanatic. 9 Lives in Hell here. Red Hooded Outlaw. What is up? Carrie Kelly.
Carrie Kelly.
Beyond the Night.
Beyond the Night, my man.
Kung Fu Scuba Babe.
Kung Fu Scuba. I agree, bro. I agree.
Joker's Wild. Oracle's Clock Tower. The Butler. The Batman Who Laughs. Mistress of Mayhem. Batwoman. Did I say Joker's Wild? Have I said Joker's Wild yet?
I think so,
No. Super Bat Mom is here. Lucas Ironside.
Super Batmom?
Even
though she has no idea what I'm talking about. I don't think Mom has been watching Halo.
She kind of watched it with. She's watched it. Well, she's been here, and I was there last week, so she's kind of watched a little bit of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Sweet. So we got some people in the chat, guys. As always, it helps our channel out so much when you guys, because YouTube doesn't recognize us as a Halo channel. We're slowly starting to build up our Halo audience, which is awesome and phenomenal. But like, as you kind of saw, even our first episode, we're building up the views. Each video has been growing in views, which is awesome because we want to reach out to that Halo community and just even game lovers or just people who are just looking for cool content to watch. Guys, it helps us out so much to beat the YouTube analytics to work in our favor. And the only way we can do that is through your help. So we need you to smash that like, share this video, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Share it with your friends. Get them involved in the live chat, because the more people we have in the chat, man, Spartans, we're going to go hardcore. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a damn good time. And then subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Okay? Like this. Just be here with us. Be in the moment. Celebrate great content like this episode was today. And as always, if you want to help support us out even a little more, Super Chat goes a long, long way. It just goes right back into the show. Or we donate it to some cool charity like the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, Feeding America. We were trying to raise money for the John Cena Foundation, but none of the Peacemaker fans joined in on that. They weren't about that life, apparently. We'll try to see if maybe Steve Downs has a charity or something at some point. I think that'd be cool.
I guess the one thing I could say to the Peacemaker fans for not showing up is,
hey, I'm not surprised.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Now it's cool, I understand, but hey, super chats go a long way into helping us. It tells us that you are really digging our content, that you love our show, that you want to support us, and that you want even more and better content. It goes, like I said, right back into the show with getting better equipment, better lighting, going to pay for some of those subscriptions that we have like StreamYard so we could do our live shows and things like that. So super chats go a long way. So if you have a topic, a question that you guys really want us to discuss, super chat's the way to go, because sometimes nowadays we're starting to get busier. It's better to add a super chat so Super Bro Corey doesn't miss it, because I try to stay focused just on the show and what you guys are saying. Corey's actually the man behind the curtain doing all the hard stuff while I have fun with you guys. So thank you, Super Bro Corey. I do appreciate your time, and I know you do it for nothing. you just do it because you're my brother. And if you don't do it, I won't hang out with you. I'm
Like
just
I
kidding.
said, we hungry.
Actually, I've watched a couple episodes with Super Bro Corey. It is surprisingly captivating, even for someone who only remotely knows of the characters. Yeah, that's very interesting, Super Bat Mom, because you've seen us play the games, but in terms of the story, I'm sure you haven't fully paid attention, other than my kids love playing very violent games, and there's something called teabagging.
and why is Corey, teabagging this grunt, dead body?
Yeah, why is Corey just constantly bashing this elite, spreading the blood around? You're probably thinking, I made some poor choices. I should have bought in that game. But guys, thank you so much for being here with us. As we prepare for our spoiler review, this is your warning.
I gotta get to it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't prepare you, Corey. Spoiler warning.
Where is it? Yes.
It's not just a signal. It's a warning.
My man. Okay. This freaking episode. Now, what I like to do before we begin our episode 5 review or any of our reviews is I like to kind of give a quick recap of what happened at episode 4 where we left our characters off. Trey, be real. # restore the monoverse. Yellow Devil, you are such a troll. And I love it. But episode 4, Homecoming, was it was another kind of slower episode, but it did a lot of character development as we try to dig in deep into Master Chief's background. He learned from episode 3 where he, came from. He removed his emotion chip that was in his back. We saw a lot of ass cheeks. Not just from Master Chief, some of the other Spartans like Kai. We saw it from Venture. Just a lot of butts in the previous episodes. I want some butts. But Kai witnessed Master Chief removing his emotion chip, but removing his emotion chip allowed him to connect better with the original artifact that they found on Madrigal, which revealed in his flashback that there was another artifact on his homeworld. And he's basically going back with Halsey and her assistant, and now the new Cortana that has been uploaded into his mind, I guess, essentially. And they made it to his homeworld, and he basically found out that Halsey was in his childhood past and that he no longer trusts her. He believes that she maybe had some things that she's keeping from him. So he's keeping an eye on her. The trust is no longer there like it was before. And they have now found the new artifact on Madrigal. Quan Ha and Soren made it back. And of course, Venture is not having any of that. So he set out a bounty and some assassins to go get her. And they're on the run right now. But of course, Soren wants to just get back to his, to Rebel with his family and just live out his days. But Quan Ha's not going quietly.
Damn
so Quan Ha. And then on Reach, we just had, like you said, Kai removed her emotion chip. So she's experiencing motions for the first time and was able to have a nice little sweet moment with Miranda Keyes as they were able to, decipher some Covenant language, which revealed the Halo ring has been mentioned. So it's out there somewhere in this universe, which is cool. But Corey, are you ready now to get into episode 5, The Reckoning?
Mm-hmm. Damn right I am.
Mm-hmm. Damn right I am. Guys. Well, as with any Halo episode, we usually start with a flashback. And we go to Irinus 2, which is, Master Chief's homeworld. And it was before the virus plagued his world and sounds like killed everybody. But they go, you see that there's this school, this Reach for Life mission where, you're kind of learning about this school where the kids all have this pioneer-like mentality that their parents have, where they have a passion for creation. And it looks like a nice little peaceful, kind of just like, I don't know.
Like camp,
like camp.
Summer camp.
Summer camp. It was kind of nice. It kind of looked very, very cool. It was nice that there was just a little dome desert thing. And then here's all this like beautiful life and forestry going on that we know from the previous episode. John's parents, Master Chief's parents, had something to do with that. They were very involved and the leaders of this community, this new colonial civilization. And man, once again, Corey, Halo does not pull any strings. Kids are violent. Violent things happen to kids in this show because they like F them kids.
F them kids.
F them kids, But we see Halsey with this, I'm guessing like the counselor, like the principal, whoever is running this school thing, talking about basically how great it is, showing them around. Maybe they're thinking about having their kids there, go there. And Halsey notices a boy that's kind of getting bullied. One of the older kids, bigger kids, is kind of shaking this. I forget what they call it, Corey. Do you remember in camp? It was like, it's kind of like a bridge thing, but it's
I don't remember.
But you can, there was always that one jerk who would shake the bridge, to freak everyone out. And of course, John, being this little guy, was like, "Dude, stop it!" And the guy wouldn't stop. And John, shows him up. He pulls his leg basically and is about to let him go. But even for that age, John is strong, man. He's holding, like, he must be like 8 or something. He's like holding this boy who has to be like 10, up, and pulls him up. And Halsey, of course, is immediately like, ooh, a specimen. Huh. Very kind of weird there. Yeah, right. She's like, I know what I'm gonna do with that. I'm gonna stick some needles and super serum in them and make them even better. Just the thing you always do when you visit a camp full of. No, I'm just kidding. But we learn as she sees John for the very first time that she's immediately taken with him. She's immediately observing this kid and has already this foresight that he's going to be important to her research and her science of developing the Spartans. But we learn that her husband, or at least her partner at the time, Captain Keyes, which, Corey, I don't know if you know this, I totally forgot about it, but I remember in Halo Reach there was actually like a journal entry that revealed that Halsey and Captain Keyes had a thing, and Miranda was their child. I forgot about that, but that is canon to Halo. It's been forever since I played Halo Reach, but I thought that was cool that they kept it within that story realm. But it reveals that Captain Keyes is just as guilty as Halsey is. So this conspiracy of the children Spartan program continues on. But Comfy Scuba says Halsey is fine as she can kidnap me anytime. Oh my god, Comfy Scuba. Well, I mean, I'm sure she would if you can show like that you can pick up some kid that's bigger than you. She might be interested to kidnap you, but she will be doing the pinning with needles. Sorry, that went too far. But anyways, mercy, regret, truth. Yeah. So, Corey, if you can go to our next slide, that's kind of the end of our flashback. We now go to Master Chief. He's staring at the artifact with Cortana and Halsey. They know that, based off Cortana's diagnostics, that this artifact is going to be much more powerful and it may have a more extreme effect on Master Chief. So Halsey is not about that. She already knows that Master Chief is starting to be a little more rebellious and she doesn't want some secrets revealed, because every time he touches the artifact, he gets a flashback, right? So now, as you guys know, I like to do this thing where rather than flipping between the scenes like they do in the show, I like to kind of group the stories together for you guys and talk about basically Halo's kind of broken it down by the planets. So right now we got Madrigal, Reach, Uranus 2, where Master Chief is from. So I like to kind of break it down by those planets. What's the storyline going on in that planet? So we'll start with Madrigal. And plus, I just want to get through this planet because I gotta be honest, Corey, the whole Quan Ha story is getting a little annoying to me. Let me know in the chat. Am I crazy? Like, the Quan Ha story is really, like, at first I was interested in her character, but when they kind of like disconnected her and Master Chief and she's off on doing her own thing now, it kind of, I'm not saying like Master Chief has to be a part of every scene to make me care, but like she's kind of annoying and she makes no sense. Like, you can tell she's just like a young child. I wonder if this is going to be like an Ahsoka kind of thing. Like when Ahsoka first started on Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated show, like no one liked her in the beginning. And then she became everyone's like favorite Jedi towards the end. I wonder if this is going to be a similar theme, and hopefully it is, because it was just irritating me. Of course, their bike breaks down. Vinisher is trying to assassinate her because she could be the one to raise up the rebellion against his rule over Madrigal. So, but Soren made a promise to Master Chief to protect her. And at this moment, he's like, mission's over. Like, you're not going to win this battle. I'm taking you out of here. Someone who knows military tactics, this is done. You're not going to make it. So I'm taking you out of here. And plus, like, you don't have any money, so you're gonna work it off. I love how he had to clarify that. He's just like, you owe me money. Like, you're gonna work it off. As a pirate. As a pirate. I just want you to know that.
No child labor laws here.
No child labor laws. He's just like them kids.
and
Halo the series.
And isn't it interesting? F that kid specifically. Like I'm done with Quan Ha.
Yeah, you are too.
Yeah. Time to
you know what's annoying about her is like clearly I get it. She wants to stick up for her father's mission, but it even sounds like her father's mission is a bit corrupted in some way. As she's looking for she's looking for the Majestics, I think. Yeah. And so she has a clear mission in mind, but like she's not thinking it through. She's not thinking that she's outgunned, outmanned, and really the only person protecting her and who is able to save her ass like he did in the previous episode is Soren. So this is what made me really upset with this. Like this was my one criticism of this entire episode because the rest was phenomenal. She gets handcuffed because their bike breaks down and she's like, I'm going to go back and fight. And he's like, no, you're not. Like, I made a promise to protect you. And plus you owe me money. So he's like, so I'm going to go find this transportation so we can find another transportation to get the hell off this planet because otherwise you're dead. And, so he leaves, but handcuffs are there. And of course, like a child throwing a tangent, she's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to stuck here. So it kind of reminded me of that scene in the movie Wild Wild West, Corey, with Will Smith. When what's his name? I can't remember the other actor, but when he's like, I take this thing off my neck, all this, you're the mechanical stuff guy, just like, oh, well, I don't have a gun. I'll shoot off. I'll use a rock. She just starts beating the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And then finally, after who knows how many hours, she finally breaks out of it. But the fact that she like made a trap for Soren when he gets back, like hiding under the dirt and then burst out and just like knocks him, tases him, like I was okay with that. I was okay with the tasing part. What I'm not okay with is like the weird scene where they try to create tension by her. Like, she's not going to kill him, but the fact that she raised the gun on him as if she was made me hate her character so much more.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, what was the point of that? Literally the one person who could possibly give you a chance to beat Vinsher and his people is Soren. He's one of the strongest Spartans, from that program. And you think you're going to have a shot without him?
Literally, when I saw that, I was like, all right, Halo, it's time to kill that fucking kid. Like kill that kid.
Damn, Corey, that's rough.
F them kid. The whole show they killing kids left to right, and then this one that we absolutely hate is still in it. So,
I mean, they need to. Hopefully, the story writing gives her some justice.
And I like what Kung Fu Scuba said here. By the way, Quan Ha is like a side quest no one wants to do, but you do it anyways to get some cool loot. That's exactly what it feels like.
Oh, you know what? That is a perfect example, dude. Yeah, that is a perfect example.
Right? He got right on.
Yeah, I'm just not sure exactly what they're trying to say by this story, other than this is what else is going on in the world of Halo. Is that there's people rebelling against the UNSC, and the UNSC is corrupt, in a way because they're tyrannical. So it's like, okay, like that could have been an easy, quick story though. But the fact then give us also a character like worth like supporting and getting behind, because right now she's just coming off as an annoying teen. She kind of reminds me, Corey, of like Carl before he was badass. When he just like, you tell him to stay put and then Carl just goes off and does whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. And look what happened to Carl. He ended up getting killed. So
spoiler alert for Walking Dead. We did tell you spoilers, but just not for that. But it's just one of those things. F that kid. Oh my God, Butler, that's hilarious. So hopefully her story progresses in a way that makes her more interesting and we can get behind her more. But right now, I'm just kind of done with her character. Comic Book Craig's movie. It's good to see you here, brother. Glad you're here. Good morning, guys. Just popped in to say hi. Busy packing and move to my mom's before we go to our new condo. Keep the great live streams coming. Thank you, sir. it's always good to see you, Comic Book Craigs, and good luck with your move. Be careful with your back. Don't stress it out. But if you do, go play some Halo after, or some Batman Arkham Knight. I don't care. Whatever you like to do to relax, or check out one of our other streams. It's always good to see you, buddy. But have fun with that. It's good to see you. But yeah, so she's just not a great character at the moment. I agree, Comfort Scuba. I feel bad for hating her character because she's original, she's new, and I know people from the get-go are just gonna be like, just give me Master Chief, but like, it's cool to get like something new because it's refreshing, right, in this world that we kind of already know. But like right now, I think the best example to say about her is right now, hopefully she's at the beginning stage of where Ahsoka was. No one liked Ahsoka in the beginning because she was an annoying teen that never listened. Hopefully she becomes a badass. She's awesome. I mean, if they just kill her off at the end, I don't think that'll happen. But like, if her story doesn't really go anywhere other than she rescues Madrigal, only for, I think, Madrigal to be destroyed, because I think that's Halo canon. I don't know. My man El Necron, it's good to see you, dude. Thank you so much for being here, El Necron. Just don't hurt.
Just hurry up and get her off the show is what I say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hopefully, which I heard apparently season 2 has been approved, but I can't seem to find like I think there was like one place where it mentions that they were going to do season 2, but I don't remember that source being very very reliable. Basically, it's just, but I hear from different unreliable sources that season 2 has already been approved. I need to do more research to see, because I haven't seen a full-on announcement yet about it. But also in Madrigal, we go back to the original cave site where they found the first artifact that Master Chief, started him off on this whole projection, this whole story. But this time, Maquis has returned with some elites, with some luminaires, and they are trying to see if it has left basically an energy trail that can connect her to the bigger artifact. And Maquis is getting interesting. Maquis is certainly getting interesting. And of course, they constantly reference her as the Blessed One. But even she kind of gave, when her and this elite were having this conversation, it kind of seemed like she's even starting to believe that the elites at least don't fully trust her, that they're constantly testing her allegiance and her knowledge about the artifacts and, the Forerunner artifacts. So we'll see. But Corey, let's go ahead and go to the next slide, because I'm done talking about Madrigal. Uranus 2. Okay, so here we get into everything on Uranus 2 is really cool. I dig it. It's awesome. We'll see. But Halsey is working on extracting the artifact from this crystal barrier that it has surrounding it on this pillar that we saw in episode 4. But Halsey, basically, her daughter Miranda Keyes, her father Captain Keyes, has said, "Hey, I want you involved on this project." He's under the impression that Halsey is keeping things from him, so might as well have his daughter, who also wants to try to connect with her mom, to make her part of the science project, basically the extraction project of analyzing this new artifact. And of course, Halsey, being the way she is, just very focused on her work. She don't got no time for kids. Ain't nobody got time for that. So she completely ignores her daughter, basically. And she's like, "Hey, I can do stuff for you. I'm quite good at it. In fact, I'm leading my own special unit on this." And Halsey's just very much just doing her own thing with her assistant, which is kind of sad, but it happens, right? But as they prepare, because they know the energy coming from this artifact is kind of like a beacon that the Covenant will soon be arriving. They've set up this temporary base with all the UNSC. The Spartans are, given kind of a breakdown with the other UNSC troops about, hey, this is what's going on. This is our goal here. We're going to try to extract this artifact, but we're also here as support and kind of basically the bodyguards, to make sure this thing gets back to Planet Reach. But I loved, Corey, this whole conversation between Kai 125 and Spartan 134. It was pretty great, especially because obviously she doesn't have her emotion pellet anymore. And she's like, do you ever like wonder why? Do you ever like question things? He's like, I questioned that when you freaking put in that grease in your hair that you like it didn't seep down in your braid. Don't ask me dumb questions like that. Like, damn, man. Like, Corey, what do you think of that whole interaction? Like, clearly he's a badass.
Yeah. No, I thought it was freaking hilarious. It made me laugh when he said it did seep into your brain. It was like emotional damage, just like that one meme, So I was like, oh god. No, I thought he is pretty cool. I tell you that much. He is. I enjoy all of his parts that he.
He's just very Spartan, right? Like like if. Right now we're kind of seeing a different side of Spartans than we normally see because of the emotion repellent being out. But the fact that he and he has such a great voice, it kind of reminds me. Corey, did you ever watch the movies Underworld?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
The one actor. It's not
him?
The same actor, but they have a similar voice where it's just like, I'm very low. Like, oh my god, like it's just cool. He's just this big freaking Spartan that just total badass. I would love to see him really go off. I know we saw that one scene where he impales the freaking elite in the first episode, but I would love to see him like, I don't know. I feel like he's the Wookiee of the group. He's like the one that will pull off, a brute's arms or something like that, or some elite's arms off their bodies. He just looks very, very cool. But I love this conversation that they have. But Master Chief, obviously being more in tune now with his emotions and aware of what it's like to now be experiencing emotions, he notices Kai. Obviously, the first tale is that she colored her hair. So he recognizes that she must have removed the emotional chip and confronts her about it. And it was a really great interaction because she's like trying to connect with him on a new level because she really respects him. And it's partly why she took off the emotion chip. Like, if Master Chief can do it, I can do it because I trust John, and I loved that she's like, what are you experiencing? Like, what do you call it? Like, she's trying to like figure it out, because when you think about it, it's been like 20 years since the Spartans have experienced any emotion since they were kids. So they wouldn't really understand it as it's hitting them immediately, And I love that Master Chief's like, you're compromised, basically. I can't clear you for battle. Like, so you're grounded. Like, I'm sending you back to Reach. And she's kind of like, obviously she's a warrior, and she's like, are you freaking kidding me? And plus, like, your emotion chip is gone. If I'm dangerous to the team, what does that make you? And I kind of laugh because like my initial brain when I first saw that scene is like, he's a freaking chief. That's who he is. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, that's hypocritical, Master Chief. Corey, what did you think about that scene and their dynamic for that particular conflict in their relationship?
Very similar to what she said. I liked it. It was cool that she was trying to bond with them, and it makes sense because the Spartans all have this, bond with that emotional chip even together. So it makes sense why she would remove it as well, because she respects Master Chief and has that bond with him. So if he was doing it, she should probably do it as well. So it makes sense. And then, yes, it was kind of funny. I was kind of glad that she stuck up for herself, with that emotional chip no longer being in there. She was like, well, that's kind of hypocritical, don't you think? If she didn't say anything, it would have been like she still had that chip in her. So I thought that was a good interaction between them both.
Absolutely. But another thing that made the scene so great, Master Chief ain't looking for love. Yeah, I kind of feel like there is a bit of a romantic connection to them, or at least in her mind, she wants something. And I think Master Chief is just trying to figure out his stuff right now. I think he's so messed up in the head from his flashbacks that he just doesn't know who to trust or believe anymore. But yeah, Kai is awesome. I agree. And Kennedy, who's playing her, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember her first name. It's Kate Kennedy. There we go. Kate Kennedy, she's just doing a phenomenal job. And Corey, I didn't realize this. I watched the Declassified show. She's 6'3" in real life.
Holy shit.
She's tall. So she's like a total
Spartan
like
person.
badass. Like she is built for like Spartan shit. So
That's cool.
very cool. But she's just nailing this role. I feel like I really do love her character. I love really all the Spartans. The Spartans have been, the whole Spartan Silver team has been really, really cool. I hope we get a cool Spartan mission with all of them. Yeah, it'd be cool if we got kind of a Black Ops Spartan mission where they have to go behind enemy lines of the Covenant
At night.
Yeah, and just take out.
Well, they have to get an
swat
artifact.
it, you know. That would be dope. Hopefully that I would be game for that if we ever got
Me
that.
too.
But I loved the scene right after this, Corey, because this was like a moment for me where I was like, man, they are starting to nail this with Master Chief. And part of what makes Master Chief is Cortana's commentary. The sass she gives him, she's like, I'm glad she stuck up for herself. And he's just like, stop talking. Just like, please. And she's like, you're not allowing me to think. She's like, there's not much going up on there. Oh my God. Like, I love Jed Taylor. I'm so glad she's voicing Cortana again, because like she just knows how to deliver that Cortana, banter that they do with each other, and it's so freaking great. Yellow Devil, I'm 6'4" and can't respect her. 6'3" is small. I'm 6'4" and can't respect. Yellow Devil, you are such a troll. I bet she'd whoop your ass, man. Don't mess with Kate Kennedy. She even said, she's like, I worked out for this shit. Like, she's a badass. But yeah, so Kate Kennedy, she's cool. Cortana, such a wonderful scene with that. But Corey, can you go to do you already have our scene? Look at you. You're already nailing it. But Master Chief had a talk with Captain Keyes because he has lost faith with Halsey, of course, because she no longer trusts her. And basically he's saying, like, I can't trust her, but you are my commander. Like, I trust you. I think you have my back. I need you to look into this for me because she's not telling me something. And he doesn't know that obviously Captain Keyes is just as much untrustworthy as Halsey because he was there, whatever this flashback is about to reveal, which I feel like for most Halo fans, Corey, we all kind of already knew what the reveal was going to be, but it was kind of like one of the scenes. The reveal was a bit of a letdown, but I kind of reminded myself this show wasn't so much made like in specifically for the video game fans. This was also made for people who don't know anything about the Halo world.
Exactly. Look what Mom said earlier, in the sense that she's enjoying the show from what she's seen of it. So they have done a good job of people. Well, and look at Sarah as well. She never really played, and now she wants to play Halo with you.
Yeah, Sarah literally said to me after that scene with Cortana and Master Chief, that little sass she gave him, she's like, I freaking love her. And she looked at me, she's like, but do AI, like artificial intelligence, don't have like that human emotion to them, or that kind of that there's just the emotion to it when they speak. And I was just like, but that's Cortana. She's way more advanced. Like you'll get to know her more as you play the games with me. But she's loving Cortana. Kung Fu Scuba says Cortana is good to me, but no complaints. She be roasted cheap. Yeah, she is roasted up, which is great. Their relationship is phenomenal, and I feel like they're really getting it for the most part, because Master Chief is kind of the dry dialogue, and she's like the comedian in their relationship. Kind of harassing them a little bit. But I loved that. So obviously, with Keyes and Halsey, he knows that he needs to kind of let Halsey in on it, letting her know, like, Master Chief is onto you. He's about to figure this out. And when that happens, he's going to be a danger to the entire UNSC, because he's not going to want to work with us. Our number one weapon against the Covenant is not going to be taking orders from us very much longer once he figures it out. And I love that scene with the Admiral and Halsey. And Halsey, the Admiral's like, get this shit together. Like, if you can't get this done, like, I'm going to remove your powers. And of course, Halsey, being the way she is, she's like, okay, cool. I'm going to tell Admiral Halsey that it's your fault. He's going to be looking for a scapegoat, and that's going to be you. And she's like, what the hell? Like, you can't turn this on me. But it was just a great scene because once again, that's just very Halsey, just being able to kind of work outside the boundaries that the UNSC has set on her and make every situation work for her. It just makes her all the more kind of like, not so much sinister, but just like she's a manipulator, man. She's just phenomenal in that. But of course, based off this entire conversation and, Captain Keyes telling his daughter Miranda to work with her mom on this project to analyze and, decode the device. He's kind of like, well, we need to keep her clean from this. We need to keep her innocent, plausible deniability, as it were. So he's like, I'm going to remove her from this project. And of course, we get that little thing from frickin' Halsey where she's like, finally, you're like being a parent. We can agree on this. Like, damn, throwing some shade. But of course, Miranda does not take the news well that she's being removed from the project. And once again, her mom is getting her way and manipulating her father and is under the impression that, her mom has something on her dad too, that is making him so obedient to Halsey, which is interesting. I'm curious where that's going to go. That kind of left me intrigued by what does she possibly have on Captain Keyes. Maybe that I read too much into that, but I thought that was an interesting dynamic that they try to play at. But of course, Master Chief sees Halsey and Keyes talking with each other, and you kind of get the sense that Master Chief kind of could tell that Keyes is not being honest with him either. So he's just kind of fed up. He's like, okay, I'm going to figure this shit on my own then. And he knows that this new artifact that they found is more powerful. So it should give him more flashback information, maybe even more detailed. And he's, talking to Cortana, like, I need all the information about my adoption. And of course, Cortana's like, I don't have any of that. All that's been lost. Like, you can't have any of that information. So he's like, screw it. I'm going to go touch the artifact. So when he touches the artifact, he gets the flashbacks, and man, oh man, did we get a lot revealed during that. Obviously we learned Master Chief was kidnapped as a young boy, John, but more importantly, Corey, it looks like John was replaced with a clone, and we know Halsey is capable of that. What do you think of that? Do you think she replaced him with a clone?
It's kind of like what I've been saying all along, isn't it?
It is. I think you did talk about that. What was it, episode 2? Do you think so? We know at some point, or at least this is what we've been told, is that at some point Ernest 2 basically fell due to a viral disease that attacked everyone and killed everyone. So that would have been including John's parents and possibly this clone. Do you think the clone is dead, or do you think somewhere out there's another John?
I don't know for sure, but I've always kind of wondered if there is another John out there. Like, obviously we're seeing this dude's face a lot. Maybe we'll get a Steve, Master Chief moment or something like that out there. I don't know. I kind of mentioned it in, what was it, episode 2 or something like that. Yeah, she's constantly trying to perfect things, right? And she certainly has tried to perfect Master Chief. And in some ways, you said he was probably 8 years old in those.
I'm assuming that's what he looked like. I mean, I don't know for sure, though.
I don't know. I feel like he would, a real John who actually experienced that would have remembered some of those things in some ways, Yeah, you kind of suppress certain things, but maybe this is clone memories, like he's get flashbacks of. I'm not sure yet, but it certainly intrigues me and intrigues the conversation of the possibilities here.
And I'll suggest another theory once we get further down to the show. But of course, once he is revealed that Halsey kidnapped him, he's obviously pissed off. He's livid, and he can't even think straight. And he actually moves to attack and swing on Dr. Halsey. And of course, his Trojan horse, Cortana, can shut down his body at any moment. So Halsey, of course, orders Cortana to do that. It's really unfortunate. And in a lot of cases, this was a great episode because in a way, I think John now realizes that there's really no one he can really trust at this point, and that kind of puts him in an interest. You put in the corner, of John in this situation where he really has no one to turn to. Maybe Kai, and that will be kind of explained a little further, but he really is kind of on his own in terms of being able to be his own person, and to do what he wants to do, that we kind of know Master Chief to be later down in the line, to be kind of that independent Spartan, that goes rogue all the time. But of course, as he wakes up, he is basically, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes so I don't miss anything. So basically, as John wakes up, the artifact was, activated at some point that released a beacon that, back on Madrigal, the Lumineers were be able to pick it up, and the Covenant now knows exactly the location of this new artifact, along with Maquis, and they're going to go get it, obviously. So when Master Chief wakes up, it's basically he's pissed off, and he's just like, he's angry at Cortana, but he's searching for Halsey. He's like, well, I'm going to find her, basically. But too late, the Covenant has arrived, and Corey, this scene, holy effing, this is what we were all waiting for. And it was like a good 20 minutes, I think, maybe a little less. Action packed, freaking, it was Halo. It was, this was like you thought the first episode action sequence was badass. This freaking blew it out of the water. Like, literally, I was a kid jumping out of my seat. My wife even told me to calm down because I was giggling like an idiot. And I was just like, we saw grunts, we saw jackals, and it was just.
And did we see anything else, Trey?
We'll talk about that in a second. Because it was crazy. We got the energy swords, we had the plasma pistols, and you could even charge it up. And they had that great scene with, when it goes first person. And I love that they keep doing that they keep going through kind of the game look of being in a first person view, and you're just seeing this incredible battle sequence. And the grunts, man, were just like, it was perfect. It's like you saw him hijacking the warthog, the freaking energy swords, which I can't recall, Corey. Has Jackals ever had an energy sword in the games?
Dude, not that I recall ever. But it wasn't even like it looked like to me like a little bit of Assassin's Creed style, whereas
kind of like on the
the hand thing. Yeah,
almost like a Predator theme too. Yeah. It was so dope. And I loved that, Miranda's obviously trying to go back to Reach with Kai because she's, Kai's been not green lighted for battle because of the emotional chip, but like it's war now. Like and the Covenant is kicking ass and totally destroying the humans. So Miranda's like, you need to get out there. And Kai's like, I'm not supposed to. And she's like, join the fight. And I love that. The little Easter egg, join the fight, and of course, you don't have to tell Kai twice. She's like, done, and gets back right into it. And like I said, Kai is badass. All the Spartans are freaking badass. When the Spartans are in the battle, like, it kind of just feels like, it's like when, oh God, I have to say it now. It's like when Superman joins the fight, right? Like all of a sudden you feel more confident. That's the only compliment I'll ever give you, Corey. The only compliment you'll ever get from the Batman.
Everybody's going to survive when a Spartan or Superman arrives.
But of course, Superman needs Batman to tell him what to do.
Everybody's going to survive when a Spartan or Superman arrive. lives.
Oh my God. Yeah, so the Banshees were cool, but of course, this fight scene is going so it's rough, right? It's a war zone out there, but for the first time, Kai, dealing with the emotion chip and dealing with all the emotions running in on her, she can't handle it. She begins to freeze up, lock up, and begins to panic and hesitate. And I love it. Once again, pulling from the video games, you get that burp, 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 you know, because the life is down, the shields are down, and now she's acceptable to blaster fire and stuff like that, so she could die at any moment. She begins at taking fire, like you can tell. I love how the Covenant, like when they see the Spartans, their focus and the tactics then go on the Spartans. Like, screw the humans, they'll take care of that in a second. But I loved how you literally saw the Covenant surrounding Kai, trying to take her out. And of course, Master Chief's mission at that point, ordered by Captain Keyes, is to take the artifact and put it on Miranda's ship so it can get the hell out of there, so they can get it secured, so the Covenant doesn't get it. That's his mission. But of course, Master Chief, now being able to think on his own without the emotion pellet in him to kind of take that away, he sees Kai in trouble and he can't let her die. So I love that he makes a decision. He's like, I'm going to abandon the mission. I think it's the first time really maybe he said, I'm going to abandon mission, you know, other than the time he saved Quan Ha. But I felt like this was the first time he really, Quan Ha, I felt like wasn't a life and death situation. This was a life and death situation in terms of taking the artifact to the human, you know, to the UNSC and getting it the hell out of there, because this, I mean, they believe it could be a powerful weapon. So this was truly a big decision for him to be like, I got to go save her. And the fact that he jumps and almost pretty much hijacks a Banshee, so freaking Spartan. And I just love that he freaking controls it and kamikazes it to this freaking ship. Like, it was so, the whole drop, you know, just freaking throwing it basically into that and seeing it explode. Like, this whole sequence was so badass. And I really got the feeling, Corey, that when you see Master Chief kind of emerge from the fire and all the Covenant, you know, the jackals and the grunts look at him, you almost kind of get the feeling it's like, this is the legend of the Covenant. This is the demon. This is them realizing the demon is here and they're fucked. You know, they're going to get annihilated. What did you think of that? I mean, the whole sequence was just cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and this is where I thought, you know, the Halo game should take some notes. You know, like, obviously Master Chief and the Spartans running as quick as the Warthog. I'm glad you also put the Grunt driving the Warthog. I thought it'd be, you know, yeah, they can steal their ships back and stuff like that, but how awesome would it be if a Grunt stole a Warthog in a game? You know, that would be right.
It was cool that they just kept that, you know, like that you can hijack, you know, like, I mean, it was a Grunt, but like the fact that the Grunt hopped in the Warthog and started going on, it was just like, what the hell? Like,
yeah. I was like, that'd be awesome to see the games as well. No, it was, oh man. I let's see. Kung Fu Scuba said something that I liked, because I was also kind of hoping it when he jumped on that Banshee, bro. I was kind of hoping he was going to kick the person out, you know, see another.
I was hoping
swap
that too
as well. So, I do find it interesting that he's always running around with a pistol, you know, like he very rarely uses, like, you know, the other stuff, and he's a badass with it. So I think we need to boost up that pistol some. Let me ask you this: with how quickly they're killing these grunts and stuff like that, and Covenant, are they playing on Legendary?
Absolutely. I mean, with Master Chief, everything's legendary. Well, I mean, the elites are kind of tough to beat, but then again, Master Chief.
The elites are always a little tough to beat.
Yeah, well, you know, but the one thing that I thought was like super cool, that was just, like, you could tell they were like totally not only nodding to the fans, but almost to the haters as well, of the show, where, you know, Master Chief's, I think he was shooting his assault rifle. I can't remember. I think, or he was shooting the handgun and he was running out of ammo. And Cortana says, go to your secondary weapon. And, you know, just kind of like in the games, he's just like, I know how to play the game. Like,
yes.
Oh my god, I started like laughing, like, damn, like this is like legitly.
I also want to be able to throw my pistol at grunts now in the game.
I agree, that needs to be a new update in Halo Infinite. You need to be able to throw your pistol at people, and if you throw it in their heads, maybe they should create like a last stand moment where the person like falls down, you know, unconscious, and you can like beat the hell out of them. And then do the, you know, little
teabag the hell out of
teabag and get more teabags than Lipton, you know. Jason Kelly, my man. Oh, sorry, go back. Great. Jason Kelly, it's so good to see you, dude. I was hoping you would show up. I told you it would pop off in episode 6 per Pablo. I did read that article that you were talking about. Guess it really started popping off in this episode. Amazing stuff. Yeah, I agree. It was like so insane that it was like, and I thought when you said episode 6 and I read that article, I was like, well, shit, if this is episode 5, then I'm almost starting to think that maybe he meant episode 5 rather than episode 6, but I don't know. I guess we'll see in our teaser trailer that we'll do in just a moment. But it was a dope. It was so cool. This entire action sequence, bravo to Paramount Plus, because
it's what we've been wanting. It's what we've been wanting. It's what we've been asking for this entire show.
Yes.
We want to see grunts. We want to see jackals. We want to see elites. We want to see these hardcore fight scenes, you know, like, man.
Yeah. You know, and I almost wonder that if that wasn't done on purpose to kind of have so much slow episodes that when the action happens, it feels even bigger. You know, that it's even more explosive, that it's even more
interesting.
You know, kind of like making you want, like just giving them enough to make them hold on, but exploding it to where it feels like it's like a gigantic thing. But really, maybe if we watched it again, you'd be kind of like, oh, this is, you know, this is just a short little action scene. But it was just done so well. It made anyone who loves the games, and really, probably just in general, one of the best sci-fi action sequences, war zones ever, you know, for any kind of sci-fi battle with aliens and stuff like that. Would you agree with that, Corey?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Like, another thing that I want to see implemented in the game as well is obviously we see, you know, when people get shot with the needlers, you know, they blow up and stuff like that. But in the game, they kind of just go down. When he just freaking just disintegrated into dust, man.
So dope. When I saw that too, I literally paused it, rewind it, and watched it a couple of times because I literally was like, oh my god, they did it. Like, that's awesome. I'm so glad. Like, they have done a really good job with the action sequences, you know, while the character development has been intriguing and slow in some areas, but intriguing. The action sequence has been freaking chef's kiss, you know, so good. Either that or episode 6 is effing crazy. Oh yeah. I think hopefully it is. Like, hopefully we don't wait for another great action sequence until the finale.
Well, I think you said per that article, he said Maki. He mentioned, So episode 6, Master Chief and we'll get there. Master Chief and Maki, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking episode 6 probably won't be as action packed. I think, like you said, Corey, I think in his interview, he said he was really looking forward to episode 6, partly because of his scenes with Maki, which I'm very hyped and excited about too, because this, you know me, when there's a mystery, I like try my hardest to figure it out. Like, I do research, I dive deep into it, and I can't figure Maki out, which makes me all the more intrigued by her character. So hopefully this reveals some things about her. But of course, Master Chief is able to save Kai 125, Spartan 125, but in doing so, the Covenant is able to take the artifact. But we also, ladies and gentlemen, get our first look at a freaking brute with a gravity hammer nonetheless. Let's freaking go. Like, come on now. Like, oh, like, first off, that brute is badass. He's just, I just love too that, like, it very much in the games, the brutes are just that freaking, just that species in the Covenant that, like, you can tell they're the freaking Keens, not the Keens, but, like, they're the ones you don't want to mess with. While the elites are badass and honorable in their own ways, the brutes are just this freaking thing, that they're just savage, freaking savage. Jason Kelly says, you keep mentioning an article. I watched an interview. Need to read that article. Oh yeah, I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was like Games Radar. I can't remember. I did see the Declassified interview that he did talking about that, which I think he said it. I think they pulled in that article from that interview talking about some of the things he said from episode 6 being about him and Maki. But I'll see if I can find it. I don't know. I think it was Games Radar, though, if I recall. It's been a while since I've read it. Yeah, Kilimanjaro. It's just such a fantastic scene of just seeing the brute for the first time and just how powerful they are. And really, it shrugged off Master Chief, basically, which makes me almost wonder if it was the first time Master Chief has ever come in contact with a brute at this point in the Covenant War, because the brute literally was just not phased by the demon. I mean, literally, you can tell the grunts, the jackals, freaking the elites are looking at Master Chief and like, holy shit, the demon is here. He owns a bit of respect from them, but the brute doesn't care. The brute's just like, you're tiny human, like, Master Chief is nothing to him and just freaking knocks him down. And they're able to take the artifact from the dropship, but leaving a little Trojan horse for Master Chief at the end, with Maki amongst the dust clearing. So we know that clearly the next episode's going to be very heavily about them, and clearly, hopefully, Corey, you tell me, we haven't seen the teaser yet because we like to watch it with you guys here. But Corey, I would hope Master Chief is not fooled, that he suspects her, because it seems very suspicious that, first off, it doesn't look like she's really harmed, and it doesn't really seem. I mean, we do know the Covenant does take prisoners and sometimes people escape and stuff like that. But from a war zone, it seems very weird that the Covenant would just leave someone right in the middle of the dust,
Right.
Just like, all right, we beat you. We traded for an artifact. Here is human, like, you would think Master Chief would be kind of like, that's suspect.
Well, especially when they clearly do not care about human life.
Yeah.
So
But they definitely hate kids,
Yeah, they hate kids, after kids. The way that she was entered into it, I would be highly suspicious if I was Master Chief. I'd be like, I'm surprised it just did no, boom.
just didn't offer. I don't think he would just, offer, but I do get the sense that I think he's going to be suspect. But I think the one thing that she has going for her, I don't think she's going to be able to fool it as like something from like Independence Day, where like, I've been captured by aliens for 5 months. They've been doing all
really, because you're the first one ever to be captured by the aliens, by the Covenant,
Yeah. I get the sense that the thing she has going for her that she might be able to use against, or at least Master, like, I don't know if it would be so much that Master Chief would no longer suspect her, but I think Halsey may prevent any type of, interrogating and torture once she finds out that Maki is a blessed one. I think Maki is going to use that to her advantage. That what does that, what happens when both of them touch the artifact together? Is it create even more of a connection to a certain flashback or to certain to the Halo ring, to the location of the Halo ring. Because at some point, like you said, we're in 2552 of this whole Halo Covenant war at the moment. So just before Halo Reach, before Reach becomes glass, basically, and Master Chief goes and finds the first Halo ring from Combat Evolved. So we're getting close to that moment. I get the feeling that at some point we're going to have to figure out, why is Maquis so important, and why is she a blessed one? Why is Master Chief a blessed one? But I feel like they're definitely going to put a connection between him and Master Chief in their childhood, maybe some way. Master Chief is going to catch it. Okay, Trevor H. So you think Master Chief is suspect of Maquis being a Trojan horse as well? Okay. Yeah, I can see that. But of course, this is where the episode ends. It ends with an action pack, and Maquis is now in the UNSC's possession. Who knows where it's going to go to? But clearly, we're set up for a very fun and I think a very revealing episode between Master Chief and Maquis. Just the one that Pablo has said that he's been waiting for himself. So I'm excited. Unfortunately, the Covenant has the most powerful of the two artifacts at the moment. So Master Chief, I think, is clearly going to have to go after it at some point to get out of their hands, or maybe even destroy it, to prevent anyone from having that power. But Corey, when you get a chance, can you pull up episode 6 teaser?
Oh, you already know it's up.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Super Bro Corey, he's just always prepared. Kind of reminds me of me. So guys,
do we want to rate this episode first?
Oh yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Normally we rate these episodes. Corey, I'm guessing you're gonna ask me to go first, like you did last time.
Yes, go first as I switch from the slide to this now, real quick. 1 second.
Okay. I personally loved this episode. I thought the action sequence was phenomenal. It just reminded me of Halo. It had me pumped. We finally saw the grunts. We finally saw the elites, Banshees in action, gravity hammers, the brutes, Master Chief just going off. There was only 2 issues I had with this episode. Only 2. You take those 2 things out, or tweak one of the ones that I have, and it would be close to a freaking phenomenal episode. My biggest issue, Kwan Ha.
Mm-hmm.
Her story, especially in this episode, she was just the annoying teen that just stop, just and I don't think I would have had a problem if they would have left her story that she escaped from the bike and Soren returns and can't find her. But the fact that she created a trap for Soren and then tased him and then pulled the gun on him as if she was gonna kill him. I hate her character. It's gonna take a lot for her to redeem herself for that, because that just, to me, that made no sense. Soren was the one person that she needs and who is protecting her, because she would have been totally messed up by that assassin in the previous episode. So the fact that she did that, she kind of lost a lot of brownie points with me, and to the point where I'm I'd be okay if her character just doesn't make it at the end of the series. But we'll have to see where that goes. So point 1, I hate Kwan Ha's character so far. Hopefully, yeah, F that kid. Hopefully she gets a better story progression towards the end that makes me get back on that track, something like Ahsoka. The second thing that would have slightly improved, it wasn't needed, but would slightly improve my experience, I wish they used more sound effects from the video game, like the handgun shots, the Magnum gun shots, the assault rifle shots, the Warthog driving sound, the Banshees. The part of why they call them Banshees is that high pitch scream when they pass you. I would have loved to have heard more Halo sound effects that kind of put you even more into that game. We get the life thing, when your armor's down, the beeping, which I really dig that, but it makes me want more. So that would be my only other criticism. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna go an 8.
That's funny because that's kind of where I was thinking as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 as well. I think it was almost a 9. With all those fight scenes and everything like that. It's everything that we've wanted. A few issues with Kwanha. She needs to be killed. F that kid. But yes, it was a fantastic episode. It's an episode that would, if there was more of these episodes, it would be, go buy Paramount Plus, like one of those types of things. So like,
Yeah.
now,
I think someone asked that earlier. Was it El Necron who asked should he get Paramount Plus?
Yes.
El Necron, if you're still here, is it imperative for you to get Paramount Plus? Not yet.
Yes.
Because most of the show, like you said, it's really tough to judge the entire show when we've only seen 5 out of the 9 episodes of season 1. Once we see all 9 episodes, I'll be able to tell you, is it worth it? This episode definitely in my mind was like, you have to see it. It was phenomenal. But I would say the only 2 episodes that she really needed to see were like 1 and 5.
Well,
the rest
135.
135. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, 135. So it's every other episode, but that's usually how it is in shows. You have your the thing that's really driving it, and then you have the slow episode that's character development, action. You have that. So once we get to episode 9, we'll be able to tell you a little bit more on that. But right now, I think you probably could wait. But based off, if you were just basing off this episode, oh hell yeah. Get a subscription to Paramount Plus for a month, binge watch Halo, you're good.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like right now, Halo, 1883, Star Trek, Picard are really the only things that are the only reasons why we have Paramount Plus. So,
okay.
Wouldn't you say, Trey, those 3 shows?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that's a fair assumption.
But everybody's rated this episode really good. So Red Hood Outlaw said 8.6. Joker's Wild said 9.2. Joker's Wild, said 9.1. Good Points Trey, Beyond the Night said 8.7. Mistress of Mayhem said 9 out of 10. Batwoman said 8.9. 9 out of 10 for Jason Kelly. Yellow Devil with a 7.5. If you like Star Trek, Paramount Plus is totally worth it. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Riffing out the guitar, but still here. Yeah, well, there we go. 8.9 from Oracle's Clock Tower. 8.4 from the Butler. Quantum has to go. I completely agree with that. We'll get back to that. 8.6 from Trevor H. 8.9 from Bat Fanatic. 8.5 from Restore the Snyderverse guy. Yeah, I think those are all great scores. Kung Fu Scuba said 8.75.
He's being very specific.
Right.
I appreciate that.
8.6.
I agree. Now Kwanha's getting really 9 lives, because I think last episode you were still very much a fan of Kwanha's character. And I would agree with you. She was intriguing to me last episode.
She took a nosedive this episode. Like we were already like, we're kind of done with you. Now I'm straight up saying, F that kid, kill her off.
Yeah.
Trey, I don't watch Moon Knight, but Halo or Moon Knight, Kung Fu Scuba Babe said he picked Halo.
Oh, I have been watching Moon Knight. Here's what I'll say about Moon Knight. I love that it's definitely not your typical Marvel thing, because they're showing blood and they're getting violent with it, which is great. I don't know anything about the Moon Knight character other than my father-in-law has told me in the past Moon Knight was considered the ripoff of Batman, and I can see elements of that. Here's what I'll say about Moon Knight. I love Ethan Hawke's character. He's very intriguing to me. Oscar Isaac, I think he's doing a phenomenal job, but I only like the Mark version of him. I think Steven is the silly one. I'm not about the silly one. The silly split personality is not vibing with me. Like literally when I see Moon Knight in the suit, I'm like, please go, just bring Mark back, who's in the classic Moon Knight suit. with the hood and everything. Like once I see that, that's cool. I dig that. But the silly Moon Knight, which like I said, don't know the comics, don't know if that's a thing. I'm sure it is. That one's not vibing with me. So when he's Mark, I'm cool with it. When he's not, when he's the other guy, I don't like the silliness of him. But otherwise it's a good show. Is it my favorite Marvel show that they have going on? # not a real DC fan. I'm like, yeah. So I would say personally, just because I'm a bigger Halo fan than I am of Marvel or Moon Knight, especially because of this episode, I'm really like, I don't think I've had an episode from a Marvel TV show where I was like jumping out of my seat because it was freaking awesome. This episode had me jumping out of my seat because I was so happy and excited to see this was the show I was waiting for. I know they can't do this because of budget, to do an episode like this for every Halo episode would just be so expensive. I mean, I heard Stranger Things cost $30 million an episode. That's insane. So like, I'm good with just, I'm just good with Halo at the moment. Jason Kelly, normally I avoid the promos to spoiler dodge, but I'll totally watch this one with my Bat Channel homies. My man, while I appreciate the support, bro, seriously, I do. If you don't want to have anything ruined for you, it's okay. Like you don't have to stick around. I mean, you've already stuck around with us for about an hour. So it means a lot to me that you want to hang out with us, but I really don't want to ruin the experience for you. And that's with anyone. Like,
and it's a 1 minute trailer, so I guess we could do a countdown when we're about to move.
Sure. So Jason, it's up to you. As always, we prepare people, we let them know. But we're happy that you're here and you want to hang out with us, man. And we are working on that Halo finale game night that we're gonna do. I forget what day that was gonna be. Corey, do you recall?
We talked about
in May.
Yeah, we talked about right around the season finale. So yeah. I think it was like the 22nd-ish area.
The 22nd. Okay. I'm still planning that out, Jason Kelly, to where we can all do the game together. But because right now it's just so busy. Like I got promoted recently at work and it's been nonstop training. So I'm like, I won't lie to you, bro. I'm overwhelmed right now with a lot of work. But it's just been nice hanging out with you guys and being able to, like, to me, this is downtime. And yet I put work into this too, but I appreciate that you guys are here with us. But we are definitely setting up for a group, the Bat Channel Halo game lobby for Halo Infinite. We're going to release that information soon once I'm able to work out the details, but it'll be to celebrate the finale. Like we'll do our spoiler review of the finale and the entire show. And then later that night, we'll do our Halo Infinite or the next day, big game lobby with all the Bat Channel audience. And we'll just go crazy for a few hours. How many episodes is the Halo series? It's going to be 9. So we're past halfway there now. I still play Halo Infinite daily. That's awesome, dude. When it first came out, I was doing that, and then I got overwhelmed at work. Collab with Sil and Mikey. Who us? I am on the Sil show every now and then. He hasn't been able to do an open panel for a while. We used to do Clapback Saturdays together, and a few other shows. We used to do Coffee Talk a lot. But he's killing it right now over on his channel, and I love Sil and love Mikey. Mikey, man, he's right again and again and again. Man just doesn't stop. Corey, shut it down. Trey needs downtime. See, even Yellow Devil, like when Yellow Devil worries about my health, because this man messages me nonstop on Twitter. I'm just kidding. I always love your messages, bud. Unite the league. Hell yeah. Hey man, let Sil know. I'm always down to have Sil on our show or have be on Sil's show. However we can join together. It's always a good time over on Sil's show. Nice. We even good over here. 9 Halo episodes. You already know. But Corey, do you already have a Halo teaser episode 6 up? Perfect. All right. So guys, Jason Kelly, my man, we're about to do our Halo 6 episode teaser trailer review, reaction, I should say. So as I always say, before we begin, to help support us, smash that like, share this video, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode, and subscribe to our channel, Spartans, because we about to do a little reaction. So here we go. Coming down in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh,
there we go.
I lost us the artifact, sir.
Now we have her.
So what is she? A refugee or an enemy combatant?
For the moment, both.
She's offering to give us intel on the Covenant, but she'll only speak to Master Chief.
The Covenant slaughtered hundreds of my people. Then you drop from the sky, offering to help us get it back. Tell me why I should trust you. Would you kindly state your name?
Dr. Catherine Halsey.
You lied to us while we fought and killed for you.
It was worth it to unlock the mysteries of those artifacts. There are more secrets hidden, and you have the key. We are the same. I can show you, John. Take me to the Keystone. You will find peace.
Okay, so it's definitely going to be a slower episode, which is fine because it looks like a lot of secrets possibly are going to be revealed. This is going to be a great character development episode for Master Chief, for Halsey, and Maquis. I think we're going to get a lot revealed about Maquis. I'm glad to see that Master Chief isn't quick to trust her or to, basically, she's just a victim of the Covenant, a prisoner, that he has some worries about her, that he doesn't, like I said, he probably doesn't trust anyone right now. So episode 6, Solace, man. Corey, what did you know from that teaser?
Man, you're right. It is going to be a slower episode. I'm glad that right away Master Chief doesn't trust her. So I was glad to kind of be reconfirmed that, there's a lot of suspicion going on with her. There's no trust. He touches it at the end. So something, it makes me wonder if he's curious about why she's a blessed one or something along those lines too,
I'm glad that they're not playing it so much, like I said earlier, about the whole, like, oh, I'm a prisoner of the Covenant, but I learned a lot of things while I was there. She's more playing as like, I know what the artifact does to you because I can have that same connection with it. And she's like, and I know if you touch it again, she's playing at the element that would intrigue Master Chief. And I do get the sense that this next episode with Halsey has lost a lot of trust from the UNSC, from the Spartans, because Master Chief is going to reveal things, which is going to be very interesting because I still believe, Corey, at some point, Master Chief and probably even Kai, because she saw how it locked her up in time of battles. I think they're going to make the decision to put back in the emotional pellet, so that way they can be better soldiers. I do think something's going to happen that sets tragedy or something to the effect that will make them make that decision on their own, that they need to have no emotions. But episode 6, Solace, man, it's looking good. Coming on this next Thursday, we will continue to do our spoiler reviews every Saturday morning. And we hope you guys can join us so that we have some time to watch it for the next few days, because we know it's during a weekday. You guys have work lives. It can be busy, but we hope you can join us for episode 6, because we're going to keep this train going, because it's been, this episode especially got me hyped for the Halo series. I'm looking forward to this next one, especially between Master Chief and Maquis. That's going to be exciting. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate. Make sure, as always, to help support our channel. It goes a long way when you smash that like. We share this video with your friends, share it on some Halo pages if you know, so that we can get more Halo fans involved. Subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And also, something that I learned recently about YouTube, another thing that will really help us is that when this video ends, comment on it. Just something, your favorite part of the episode. Maybe can't wait to episode 6 of Halo. Anything like that goes a long way to helping the YouTube analytics, to promoting it to new viewers, so that way we can continue building our Halo community and the Bat Channel community even more. So that way these live shows are even more fun. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it. I'm your host, Trey, with...
Sorry, I was reading Jason Kelly's
I totally missed it. Jason Kelly, I do see a giant plot hole, though. Why in the world would the Covenant give up their only way to interact with the artifact they just stole? Oh, well, I think they must have. I think the prophets, especially. That's a wonderful question, Jason. I think the prophets, especially, trust. Who is it? Is it Mercy? Yeah, Mercy. Mercy especially trust her abilities, and I think she'll be able to convince Master Chief maybe to go rogue again, with her by his side, and at some point turn on him. I think that's the plan. I think the Covenant. I think she has a plan in place that's going to go just about, every step of the way, that she was planning. But I think it'll probably fall at the end because Master Chief obviously isn't going to die. But I don't think they believe they've lost their asset yet. I think they're going to get her back.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
there's a bigger plan here. That's an interesting statement, though, for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder if she has like a tracking device or some type of way to let them know that she's going back to Reach or whatever. But that's interesting. Let's see. Jason Kelly said, but the UNSC could just kill her on the spot. She has plot armor. No big deal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but if those who played the game, we don't really see what happens. There's no McKee in the game, so she
could be out there somewhere. But no, I think she'll die at some point.
In some ways, I wonder.
My man Koopy Malik, what's up, Spartan? It's good to see you. Well, guys, it was a great point, Jason. Thanks for bringing it up. That was a good catch, because I didn't think about that. But it does seem to me that the Covenant, while that's a great point, it feels like the Covenant is very confident in this moment. They think they're winning, and I think they think Maquis can easily get out of this. I mean, who knows how powerful she is? I don't think there has to be a reason why they keep her around other than she's a blessed one, and let her be so active and independent and leading her own Covenant team, basically. I mean, if she was so valuable to them as a blessed one, they wouldn't have let her go. They wouldn't let her go anywhere. They'd just keep her locked up, basically, and say, you can't go because we can't lose you. So they must feel confident either in a special power that she has that we have yet to see. So something's going to be revealed about Maquis that I think is going to be mind blowing. So stay tuned. As always, episode 6 is going to be hot. It's going to be coming in with a lot of good stuff. True. We haven't seen what she can do yet. Yeah, I agree. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. It's always good seeing you guys and just geeking out about the Halo universe and the Halo series. This episode was truly a special one. Northman, yes, Corey and I we're trying to find a time to go to Northman sometime. I think we're gonna have to do it at separate theaters because I don't think he's gonna be able to come down to Colorado for a bit. But I've heard wonderful things about the Northman, Corey.
Yeah, well, I'm down. You want to go see it maybe next weekend?
Are you coming down?
I might be.
Well, if you do, we might do a review on it to let you guys know, because we love that Norse mythology kind of stuff. But guys, thank you again. I know I've said that a million times. We keep getting sidetracked with all you guys' great comments, but thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm your host, Trey, with
Super Bro Corey.
And don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bad time.
Same bad channel.
Have a great weekend,
later,
everybody.
guys. Have a good night.
Take care.
Or day.